Well, good Tuesday afternoon to you. It's Dan. I want to welcome y'all to my home in the sticks. Lord of mercy. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. I had a bunch of questions on the wicking bed method of growing things. I thought I'd do a little short video and show you my wicking bed that I have a whole bunch of asparagus growing in. So give me a second and we're going to jump right into it. All right, y'all, let's go. We need a container in which we're going to create the wicking bed. I'm going to use this one just for illustration purposes. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a drainage hole. And what I like to do is from the bottom of the container, go up about 5 inches and I'm going to cut a hole into it. I want about 5 inches of reservoir is what I want. We'll get into that here in a second. You can use barb fittings, anything from which the water can weep out once it reaches that 5-inch point. Once we have our drainage hole set up or cut, I like to use this 4-inch corrugated pipe. And if you notice, this pipe has a bunch of holes in it, a bunch of slits in it. The corrugated pipe is going to be used to hold water. That is going to be the area, the 4 inches of the 4-inch area that is going to hold water in our wicking bed. We want to coil in as much of this 4-inch pipe as we can inside of this barrel. Probably cut it off probably about right here. If you can see inside of there, what it looks like. Just have it coiled up inside of there. As far as the corrugated pipe, you can actually get the 4-inch corrugated pipe from Lowe's, Home Depot, or whatever box store. You can actually buy it like this, or you can actually get it that has, you can buy it that has a sock on it. And it's just the 4-inch corrugated pipe, and it has kind of like, I don't know, some cloth material that covers it up. What we don't want is any of the soil or any of the materials to leach down into that corrugated pipe to stop it up. Once we have our corrugated pipe into position, we got to fill this void in right here with something. There's a bunch of different thought and theory behind it. You can use sand, pea gravel, lava rocks. You can use rocks, period. What we want to do is, and I prefer sand. We have to have a way to fill this pipe up with water. Type of PVC or just something where you could put a hose in here and actually fill it up where it actually lands into this stuff right here. You're going to cut a little flap, like a little trap door or something like that, into this corrugated pipe, and this is going to sit inside the corrugated pipe. Whenever you go to fill this thing up with water, naturally it's going to travel down the PVC into the corrugated pipe, and it's going to fill it up. Wicking, how does that work? Wicking, okay. Well, once you have your corrugated pipe set in place, you have your fill tube set in place, I like to use sand. And then again, I already stated, you can use pea gravel, you can use lava rocks. There's just a whole bunch of, it's only limited to what you can come up with. Sand, in my opinion, works real well. Have our fill tube in place. In this center area right here, we are going to put in some sand. I don't have any sand on hand, so let's just pretend that I have some sand right here. The next thing that I did was I used some shade cloth, any kind of shade cloth. And what I did is I set it down, I set the shade cloth down in there. Can you see where I'm going with this? You have your sand, and you have your shade cloth. What's going to happen next is we're going to take our growing medium, be it some compost, potting soil. We are going to set the growing medium on top of this shade cloth, and we want that to be about 12 inches or a foot. That's how much growing medium we want. Let me get this camera off this tripod, and we're gonna move over into this working wicking bed, and then maybe I could explain a little better. I hope I'm explaining it okay. But it's really easy to make, and the concept is there, and it is truly effective. All right, y'all, here we go. Here is our working wicking bed. Here's my fill tube, and I have about 12 inches or 1 foot of growing medium inside of this wicking bed. And it's roughly, I don't know, 2 feet tall, maybe a little less. And over here is our overflow tube, and it is approximately 5 inches from the bottom. What happens is, whenever I add water into this wicking bed, once it reaches the 5-inch mark, it's going to overflow. Asparagus, whenever they get thirsty, they're going to start sucking up water from the bottom, hence the 5-inch reservoir. I'm going to go ahead and top off this wicking bed. We're just going to fill this guy up. There we go. See, it is now, it has reached the 5-inch level, and we're starting to overflow. Now I know that this wicking bed is filled. The reservoir is filled with water. You can actually take a stick and put you some tick marks on it or something like that. Shove it down into this pipe just to get a guesstimate on how much water you have in it. One thing I didn't mention is when you, if you intend on making a wicking bed on your fill tube, you want to cut this guy on an angle. If the PVC is sitting flat, it's going to be hard for that water to get into that corrugated pipe. But if you have it on, if you cut your PVC or your fill tube on an angle, it'll sit like that. Thus, water can get into that corrugated pipe real easily. I hope this answers some questions. If you have any more questions about the wicking bed, please drop the comments or drop the questions down in the comment section, and I will try to answer them as best I can. I got this this idea from a YouTube channel, Rob Bob's Aquaponics, or Backyard Farming and Aquaponics. I believe that's what his channel name is. The fella is real swift when it comes to wicking beds and aquaponics. And all I did was take what he did and custom made it into something that would work for me, which is this, and it's working. So y'all, if you like the video, hey, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the Home & Six channel, y'all need to come on over and give me a look now, because I'm always doing stuff, really. And with that being said, you know it's coming, and I'm always going to say it. Don't let nobody dull your shine. And I mean nobody. You get your shine on, especially when you're trying to build some wicking beds and whatnot. And we'll see you and y'all in the next video.